These are actually normal sized microphones. We're just giants.
Let's give him his water.
Oh my God, it's literally 5 minutes. Yeah.
Come in. No, not in.
Okay.
How did we start the last one? Because we said don't start on Steve Jacobs.
Steven.
Steve. Do you want to start again? Episode 7 in the can now, Powered by People podcast with the fantastic Mr. Steve Jacobs.
Stephen Jacobs, indeed.
Yeah. So the all-round go-to guy for anything talent, recruitment and communities.
100%, and long-time friend of the Rec Hub.
Absolutely.
And also just like the first sort of TA celebrity I was introduced to, I think.
Yeah.
He seems to be... I don't think I've met anybody that doesn't know Steve Jacobs.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Steve Jacobs is, then check out the talentcommunity.net, I believe.
Yeah, the talentcommunity.net.
Fantastic resource for anybody in talent, in-house, embedded, RPO, whatever.
Yeah, it's like the first real community that involves all aspects of TA, because there have been a number of communities that are exclusive to the guys on the darker side of the business, the agency, the RPO sellers, and they incorporate everybody, and everybody gets to learn from everybody, and it's a real nice platform. I think we've got 2,000 members and growing, so yeah, check it out.
It's great, and I think, as we said in the previous cut of this, before we had to use these microphones because they weren't working.
When we had like real microphones and like a proper podcast and that, now we've just been downgraded.
We were saying the topic of the podcast was all around communities, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Steve is an authority on those. And we were saying that, I guess, the 3 main topics in the podcast were starting a community, engaging that community, and then ensuring that it adds value to the members of the communities. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And we were saying that community's been around for ages, not necessarily anything new, not like a brand new concept, but actually how people are now almost dependent on communities for connection, industry insight, understanding the market, and just that peer-to-peer contact post-COVID.
I think you mentioned, COVID was changed a lot of things, but not just COVID. Society has changed. Everyone's a lot more isolated with being online.
Yeah,
and so digital communities as well as physical communities certainly allow people to connect with like-minded individuals, whether that's from a career perspective, a professional perspective, or from hobbies and interests. So yeah, I think communities as a whole is a growing topic in society. And then also I think we obviously there are lots of businesses out there that look at communities from a marketing and a sales perspective, and I think the reason that there's been a huge drive in that side of sort of communities, and we talk a little bit about this, is because of the sort of rise of AI, automation. It's so easy to sort of personalize emails, and actually it's quite easy to read that now. So building communities and being involved in communities is a much more natural way of integrating and communicating with a customer, right?
Definitely. Well, anytime you can have a cluster of like-minded individuals that might be a similar-ish buying persona all gathered in one area, that's absolute gold for a marketer, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
So yeah, there's huge value from a product side to try and extract from a community. But at the same time, it works both ways, right? Like a community can help other members find a new partner or a new vendor, recommendations, referrals, testimonials, again, peer-to-peer recommendations, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
The best form of marketing ever is word of mouth. And if we can help seed and generate that through communities, then amazing.
Yeah. So it's a really, really nice podcast, full of information. If you're looking at starting your own community, getting involved in a community, there's loads of stuff on there, and Steve's just full of knowledge around that. So
100%. And we'll put links into the TTC, and some other amazing communities that we are familiar with. TechCrunch Berlin, IHR, the guys over there do a great job of communities. So we will put those in links underneath.
Is that what? Yeah, and then do we also plug like and subscribe? I'll do it again though. Okay.
Cut.